Well, good morning, our beloveds. Our another is learning some more important and difficult journeys, lessons, experiences, whatever you want to call them. When you see life through a singular prism of duality, good or bad, like or dislike, want or don't want, need or don't need, love or hate, whatever it is. Duality is one or the other. And we are moving humanity into both. It's simple. Hate and love. Experience and run away from. Embrace and distrust. Finding a place within you where both can be true is the beginning point of ascension or integration. Hating what has made you, you, and appreciating and loving it at the same time. Allowing both to be true, to be real, to be sincere is where we want humanity to go next. We don't want you to spiritually bypass and say, all is well, and just allow it to flow, because you're still denying the duality within which many of you reside. Don't bypass it. Acknowledge it and say, I am really angry at where I find myself right now. I really am angry because I didn't want this. I didn't seek this. I didn't pray for it. I don't deserve this. And yet, here I am in this magical place of being forced to grow and to experience and become enlightened, to see what pain and suffering does to my soul, how it burnishes off everything that I thought was real, but it isn't real. And there's this exquisite beauty and elaboration in the painfulness of the beauty, or the beauty within the pain. When you have an incredibly painful toothache, when you have an incredibly painful break in your bone or injury or something within your body, you wouldn't know and appreciate what it is to be without that pain unless you've experienced that pain. And especially if you toggle back and forth for a number of days between pain and lack of pain, the contrast will be almost overwhelming, where you will find and experience the duality of it, and the fact and the reality and even the purpose of that pain is to remind you of the ease and the bliss and the flow when you're not in that painful experience. And you must embrace the contrast to say, but for me having gone through that, I wouldn't be in this place of appreciation now, of experiencing life differently. When, for example, you lose a child, the most painful experience within the human incarnation, without that, you would never know how much you loved that child until that experience is lost. And then, all you do is wish for just one more day, one more moment with that child, when everything revolves around the loss of what you had and that you didn't appreciate to its fullest because you took it for granted, the ebbs and the flows of life, but not the loss of that child. And then you have a family system where it was the only child versus one of many. Then the entirety of that experience is gone because there are no other children for you to share that growth through and with. Does that make sense? And when a child loses their parent, their caregiver, their lover of life, hopefully, the one who taught them to appreciate this parental-child relationship, when it is gone, when it is missing that connection, every child, in one form or another, wishes for just one more chance or opportunity, even if the relationship was less than ideal, because the desire is to be unconditionally loved by your parent. So when you see and find and feel and experience and embrace and allow the contrast to teach you the and or, but for, what if, however you perceive it, you can feel the loss and the appreciation for what was there before or what you hope will come again, which is a feeling of contentment and ease and flow in whatever form. But you cannot grow without resistance. So we will give you a different example, a seed that is planted within the soil. For most species, though not all, it must be covered by some soil, whether it be 3 feet, 3 inches, 3 millimeters, or just 3 granules of sand. You need resistance on top of you to compress you, to protect you within the darkness so that you can sprout and move through the resistance to get to the light, to the warmth, to the nourishment. It is the resistance which creates character and courage. And for those of you, when you look around at those who have been blessed with few challenges in life, know that it is not that they are blessed. Know that they came to experience a life with less growth opportunities. They chose a hiatus this time around. And those of you who have the incredible challenges, you came and incarnated this time around to really have an opportunity to face adversity and to grow and to learn to appreciate how these challenges feel within the soul's development of ego. Because ego and soul are the counterpart. You need a vehicle, the outer shell of the car with the motor and all of that, but you also need the petrol or the water or the sun's energy, if you know what we mean. You need both. One is the energy form and one is the housing. And neither is good nor bad. It is how you use it. You can have a vehicle that runs over people willy-nilly, or You can have a vehicle that chooses to use it mindfully, suspiciously at times, to get from point A to point B, but who also takes the scenic route at times, who explores, going through the mountains, going by the rivers and the lakes, going through the desert sometimes to really see if the heat and the lack of resources can sustain you. You will see what your unique journey is when you let go of the desire and the need to control it, and instead allow us to form it for you and to simply embrace what is and what could be with an open query. I invite the universe in to bring me my greatest challenges, to forge the greatest path and exposure and exploration to help my soul by the end of this journey to have had a full expression of expansion. And most are not willing or able or desirous of such a journey because you have been taught by society to make yourself small and uncurious, to seek safety over everything, security above calamity, and a small expression because you're looking simply to live, that you can die instead of die that you can live. When you die to self, and self just simply means the need to know what is coming tomorrow. And when you just wander out into the desert, like the Israelites, trusting that you're going somewhere, leaving behind the entire safety and security of enslavement, only then will you understand what it is to be free. When you risk dying in the desert instead of living in servitude, then you will know what it is to be alive, trusting that that type of possible death is greater than the safety and security of enslavement. And most souls cannot grasp this concept yet because you have been enslaved, and that is all that you have ever known. But these next generations who are being birthed right now will teach you that, because they are not afraid of death as much as they are afraid of a life not well lived. Believe in these young people and their unique journey of, we desire something different and better. Please let us go. Enslave us no more, and encourage us to explore and to fail, because within the failures will be the greatest expansion within the inventional field for millennia. You will not believe what is out in the ether until you release your children to be free to explore the great what if. Find peace in the fact that your children may die younger than you want, because within just that singular gift, you will allow your children the opportunity to live longer and more complete and more fully. It is this entrapment within what you fear is coming that you push many children to the brink of the unthinkable. And you know what it is of which we speak, pushing them to the point where their lives no longer have value or purpose for them. Release them from your stronghold of what their lives must look like so that you fear safety and security no more for them, but instead encourage them to live life fully by jumping out of perfectly good airplanes or cliffs or whatever it is. Your fear of allowing them to die is restricting their ability to live. And you are the ones who can set them free by encouraging them and allowing them to have a home and a safe space to land if they fail a few times. Allow them to find themselves and no longer force them into the paradigm which you were raised into, which is the 40-hour 8 to 5 or 9 to 5 plus work model. They want more and they deserve more because the energetic imprint demands that of society's implosion into creation. Believe in your children more than you do and trust that the universe will catch them. And so it is. Namaste.